Sean, I just got the news. The 15 freeway is shut down.
What?
The airport is shut down.
What's going
Everyone's saying that, you've missed the boat. There is St. George is shut down. Nobody else can live here anymore. Nobody else can move here. It's no vacancy.
No vacancy sign right in Washington County border.
Yeah, if you were thinking about coming here, you've missed your opportunity.
Sorry.
That's not true.
A little
That's
clickbait.
Not true. Yeah, a little clickbait.
No.
We're going to talk about in this video because everyone knows that Utah and St. George in particular has just, it had this explosive growth over the last few years.
Crazy.
Yeah, so we're going to have some statistics from, some articles in Salt Lake City Tribune and, so the U.S. Department of Housing that shows the fundamentals of the economy here in St. George.
Super sound
Economic fundamentals that sort of, they give you maybe a little confidence that this growth, it is sustainable.
Yes.
Because the economic principles are very sound here.
So stay tuned.
Now, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about working, eating, sleeping, dreaming, playing, living in Southern Utah, you've got to click on the subscribe button and you've got to click on the little bell so that you're notified every time that we upload a new video, and we upload new videos every week.
We get so many calls from people looking to either buy or sell a home in Southern Utah, and we absolutely love it. So whether you think about moving to, moving from, or moving within Southern Utah, either give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back. Okay, so if we're going to talk about the crazy good economy in Utah, let's talk about, Utah in general. How business-friendly is Utah?
It's number 3 according to CNBC as far as the most business-friendly state in the country. So this is just, again, it tells you that fundamentally speaking, this state loves them some business.
Yeah, so if you actually just, look at some pure fundamentals, the job growth over the last, here I'm just looking at the statistics, over the past 2 years, according to Salt Lake City Tribune, is 5%. And the unemployment rate here is...
in St. George is like 2.7%.
Yeah, kind of crazy in terms of how low it is.
Basically, if you want a job, you have one. I mean, it's crazy how low the unemployment rate is here.
Yeah, so here's a quote that was in Salt Lake City Tribune. He said... somebody who works at the the Utah Department of Workforce Services said for both areas, meaning Washington County and Iron County, which is where Cedar City is, it's like COVID never happened.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just all systems go.
Yes, for sure. So with these bustling economies, there are quite a few companies that are moving into the St. George region. They're deciding to come here because, the economic fundamentals, and it's so business friendly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we come from California, which is, notoriously not business friendly.
Not so much. Yes.
Yeah, and actually in this article that I'm referencing, they did, find someone who moved from California and brought his business with him.
There is that one person?
Who brought his business here, and he said, he's used to, back in California, government officials would be, his adversaries, right?
Yes.
He was constantly working against them, where he feels like in, Washington County, people that work in the government, they're there to help his business grow.
Yes, imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to help you grow rather than trying to crush you.
Yeah, so, for example, Sean was reading the other day about Zonos. What happened with them?
Yeah, I mean, they're a company that's raised $69 million in Series A funding, so they're a nice size startup, and their headquarters is in St. George.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that companies like about being here is that there are 4 universities. So there's 2 here in St. George and then 2 in Cedar City.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it really, when you have the university presence, it means that you've got, a lot of innovation there. You got a lot of, people that are looking for jobs, got, working spirit and that sort of stuff. And in this article that we've been referencing from Salt Lake City Tribune, they were saying that the universities, specifically, Dixie State and Dixie Tech, they're very easy to work with.
Yes.
So, if a company will say, we're looking for people that do this or whatever, then they'll work with the university to, get that program working so that they can, give people the employees that they need.
Yeah, and that's not the only, obviously, company going on here. There's a lot of, other companies that are, either relocating their headquarters here or expanding their operations as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a burgeoning aerospace industry that is happening here. Sure. Yeah, because companies, I think they're just realizing that it's so business friendly here
Well, and the proximity, honestly, is
Yeah.
pretty amazing. I mean, it's along the 15 freeway, so it's so close. It's only 90 minutes to Vegas, only about 6 hours to Southern California. It's so convenient. And again, I think they're following how the migration pattern is going. People are flocking to Southern Utah, whether that be from out west, or they're coming from up north. They want that better weather, so they're coming out here. And when the people are here, the jobs will follow. So another thing that aids that whole sustainable, economy is that fact that, and because of COVID, people, now can work from home. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lasting thing.
Yeah.
And what's nice is that before, it was kind of like the chicken or the egg. Did you have the jobs and draw the people, or did you have the people and you drew the jobs? Now, the people can come with their jobs and work remotely. And then because there is that population growth here, now companies can feel much more confident about relocating their headquarters here too.
Yeah, for sure. So, and another reason why, the really, really white hot economy here is sustainable is because St. George also has a really, really good healthcare. I mean, Intermountain Healthcare, it's actually the largest employer here. And this is according to, statistics from the U.S. Department of Housing. And part of the reason why this healthcare system is so good is because, St. George is, this is public information. This is from this document. This isn't just us talking. It's known as being a retirement community.
Yes.
So when you have, an elderly community, healthcare tends to pop up around it. So when you have tons and tons of jobs in, a healthcare sector, which is just another big reason that, the economy here is sustainable.
And this hospital is world class too. I mean, we're talking about, actually a friend of mine, he had the unfortunate incident of having some health issues. And
while he was here.
Yeah, while he was here. And fortunately for him, he was all mended up really, really well here, where his specialist, world-renowned specialist,
way back in California,
looked up the data and he said, you know what? I wouldn't have done anything any different. So, I mean, it's really, really good here.
Yeah, we were actually kind of surprised
when
we moved out here because we just, I don't know what.
I mean, it's a smallish population. You don't think that you're going to have just this amazing healthcare going on here, but you do.
Yeah, so, if you are in the healthcare sector, that's one, good thing about living here is that you definitely have a very strong healthcare sector here.
And if you get hurt here.
Or if you have kids like us.
Yes. Yes, our daughter, unfortunately, is a little adventurous, and she's broken 2 arms. And again, it's just one of those things where kids can be a little bit reckless sometimes, and it's just nice that it just gives you that comforting feeling that you know that at least you're not dealing with subpar healthcare system.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely gives you that peace of mind, especially when you have kids, because I think, you kind of freak out sometimes.
Oh my gosh, well, they're growing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy.
When they have a fever, you're like, oh no, what are we going to do? Yeah, that's one, cool thing about living here, and that it's part of the reason why the economy here is so strong.
Yeah, it's a much more diverse economy than it used to be. Before it was just all housing and loans and all, and now it's just so much. I mean, obviously that's a component of it, of course, but it's so much more diverse than it used to be. So it can withstand these inevitable swings in the economy.
Yeah, because I think people think, if you're our generation, you a lot of how you think is colored by the crash, right? The 2008 crash. I mean, we personally had some, pretty serious things come out of it within our family, so it definitely colors the way we think. So
our version of the Great Depression, basically.
Yeah, and so people during the housing crash, St. George was very highly affected by that because it didn't have that diverse of an economy.
Disproportionately reliant on housing, right? And now
and construction.
Yes, and now that's again, it's certainly a component, but
for sure,
at least it has more than just that going for it, for sure.
Yeah, and I think another thing that it has going for it is because companies, are starting to discover that St. George and Utah in general is just so business friendly that they're deciding to move out here because, it's got the talent pool here, right? Because people are coming out here because it's a great place to live. And then the companies are following because they're seeing.
But where are they coming from? Like, what areas would be just so horrifically difficult to work with that they'd leave those areas for St. George?
I
can't
know.
think about it.
I
don't know. Like, it's amazing. I don't know what states would just be consciously pushing companies away, but it's a sad reality.
Yeah.
But again, it's their loss is Utah and specifically St. George's gain.
Yeah, for sure. So So in terms of the economy here in St. George, it's obviously not all rainbows and unicorns. There are definitely challenges. There's growing pains, right?
Of course, and things need to get worked out. And, like that's just how it goes, and that it doesn't work linearly, right? I mean, there are these little growing pains basically.
Yeah. So one of the growing pains definitely is that housing supply has not been able
tight.
Yeah, it hasn't been able to keep pace with the amount of people that have wanted to come move here. And how much did housing go up last year in terms of prices?
Year over year was 40%. I mean, it was a pretty significant increase. And even the whole U.S. housing market went about 18.5%. So it's not like U.S. market was flat and this one spiked. I mean, it did go higher than the U.S., but still, it is a very high rate of growth, and that's partly due because it's so supply constrained.
Yeah. So but it's not like city officials and people here in St. George. It's not like they're not
tone deaf about it.
Yeah, they're not trying to just push it under the rug. I mean, they're trying to work, for solutions. There's city officials, people have proposed maybe having smaller lots to make it so that you can increase the supply of housing, because it's all about supply and demand. So we talk about,
Well, again, it's just basic economics 101. Basically, when you have a limited amount of supply and a ton of demand, the prices go up, and that's what we're dealing with in St. George. I mean, I know that we're building here, but obviously not at the rate that's where it's meeting what demand is.
Yeah, but I mean, although one thing in our favor is that when you do live in an area that is pro-growth, officials tend to make it easier to build, whereas for example, from where we're from in California, it's nearly impossible to build.
Yeah, Costa Mesa is a city that's just so anti-growth that they make it so hard to develop property. And as an investor, as a developer, you don't want to be held down with this whole not in my own backyard kind of thing. You want to be working together and to create, and again, not so you can just do anything you want to do, but create something that's works for your neighbors too, but again, allows to alleviate this whole demand issue.
Yeah, to make housing more attainable, I would say. I think that's the word that city officials use. They're doing, obviously growing pains is not going to be perfect.
No.
But they do have it in their sights. They want to make housing more attainable, whether that means, the lots are smaller, I don't know exactly.
Opening up new land for development, or I know that we're working through with these water rights too, of course. I mean, that is a constraint.
So that's another constraint that I was going to get into. Another growing pain is that you do have the water issues of, all of Utah and the St. George region.
Yeah, it's as if it's done on desert or something.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I know one of the solutions is the proposed, Lake Powell pipeline. I don't follow that closely enough to know exactly what's going on. I know that it is controversial. I don't know.
So I guess and also obviously time will tell what comes of it.
Yeah. So, but I mean, at least we're trying to figure it out. Whereas.
Yes. At least everyone's kind of swimming the same direction, right? They're rowing the same way.
And just to end on a little positive note, one of the other strong points, because we forgot to mention this about St. George's economy and why it's a sustainable growth economy, is the tourism industry really attracts people here. And because COVID has changed the landscape in terms of people can work remotely, what ends up happening is that people decide that they want to stay here.
Yeah, so they go to vacation and they go, you know what, I'd like to live here.
Yeah, so what happens is that it's bringing this skilled labor force here, and so companies are wanting to move here. Again, this is public information. This is from the Salt Lake City Tribune. I'm not making this up, but yeah, tourism, it brings people here, and then because companies start realizing, hey, there's this skilled labor force here, then they start moving here because they realize, hey, we can make use of, all these people that have relocated, because I don't know if you noticed, but the world kind of changed.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, kind of changed over the last 2 years. So so it's a different landscape that we're working in for sure. So that's it. That's our video.
Now, if you see that really cool property online that looks just amazing that you want to check out, want to go see, you got to reach out to us. So either give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back.